Good day, my name is Nelis Brink and I am from PSG Wealth R21. And today I'd like to discuss the portfolio construction of an individual investor. So remember, it's important to always have an holistic view of all of your investments. They needn't be with the same firm and they definitely shouldn't be in the same asset class. But at some point you should have a picture of your complete investment portfolio from the top. And then that portfolio can be broken up into 3 buckets. So the first one would be your very liquid, very low volatility bucket. That would typically consist of things like money market and bonds. Now the goal of this bucket is to be there for short-term unplanned and planned expenses firstly, and then secondly, to reduce the volatility of your overall portfolio. So you can use it to buy into the stock market if there's a crash, to buy into the property market if there's a correction, or then to replace the burst water heater in your house that was unplanned for. And then if you see massive movements in the stock market or the property market, you won't feel it in your low volatility, high liquidity bucket. Your second bucket is there for the medium term, and that bucket's primary job is to take care of medium term planned expenses and then of course to combat inflation. So that bucket must grow by at least the inflationary rate in your country, or preferably slightly higher than that. That would force you to invest in assets that's slightly less liquid. That's why it's so important to plan the expenses that needs to happen in 3 and 5 years from now. Sending your kids to school, paying off your house or putting a down payment on a house, or expanding into a bigger business. And then your last bucket, as we like to call them, your growth or your wealth creation bucket. That's where you put your long-term investment money. That can be in the stock market, that could be investing in private equity in a business, that could be in property. The important part is to invest in high growth assets. They need to outperform inflation significantly. Now, the important part to understand, as soon as you invest into something that's high growth, it automatically comes with high volatility. And that's why this is labeled a long-term bucket, more than 7 years, 7 years plus. Now, a typical question that I get asked by clients walking into my office daily is, when can I use that money? After 7 years, can I cash out all of it? And the short answer is never. You can never use that money. That money is there to grow your generational wealth. The only thing that we will be using, or the only portion that we'll be using from that money, is the dividends it pays if you're thinking about stock investment, or the rent it pays if you think about property investment, and so on. And those dividends or those cash flows will only be used to fill up bucket 1 and 2. So just to bring it all together, you've got your 3 buckets. You've got your high liquidity, low volatility bucket number 1 to take care of short-term expenses. Then you've got your medium-term bucket to take care of medium-term expenses planned between 3 and 5 years. And that bucket's primary goal is to beat inflation. And then your last bucket is there to only fill up bucket 1 and 2 from high growth over the long term. And that's portfolio construction. If you do that and you have the bulk of your assets on your growth bucket, you will always have enough money. Thank you for your time, and be on the lookout for some more content from our side. Cheers.